very soon. We are back. All right, so I don't know what part you missed. So I'm not going to repeat all of it, but I'll just summarize it for you. The editor is going live today. The toolkit is going live today. It means that we're going to update the early access version, so your save games will be incompatible because we have to activate the modding part of the early access version, and that has quite some ramifications. You're going to be seeing how we make Cow Simulator. This will actually act as tutorial number 1. There will be a number of them in the coming weeks, and then when the guys here have finished showing you how to make a level and how to walk around in it, then I'll be back and I'll give you a little bit more of an update, and then you will have some question and answer time. All right? Okay, Joachim, it's all yours. Sebastian, it's all yours. Have fun with the editor, and we'll start with how to install it. Good luck, guys.
Okay, so when the editor is live, you can just install it through Steam, just like you install the game. Just go to Tools, and you will see the Divinity engine. I think it's around 400 megabytes to download. Just install this, and that's all you need to run the editor. I'm gonna run it local because it's not yet downloaded on this PC. The first thing that you're gonna get when you start the editor is a message that says you need a valid data path for the game. This just means that you are gonna have to say where the game is installed. So you get this options dialog, and in the game data path, just go to your installed folder of Original Sin, which is on this PC Steam Apps, Original Sin, Data. So it's the root data folder of your Original Sin installation. The second thing we need to set up is the editor data path. This is where your some project files are installed, where some temporary stuff is installed. This can be anywhere where you like, so this doesn't matter. I'm gonna set this to develop. You know what? I'm just gonna set it to the same folder as my game data. So I'm just gonna click data, and I'm just gonna click editor. It's a folder I made in my game data. So I'm just gonna pick this one as my editor data. So 2 paths are set now. My game data path, which is just the installed data of Original Sin, and the editor path, which is your project folder. The rest of the options are not needed now, so you can just leave them as they are and just click OK. So the first thing you're gonna get when you start up the editor and set your config is which mod you would like to load or create a new one. As you can see, because the main mod is the main story of Original Sin, and this is in your game data, you can also open this one. So you can browse to whatever the assets we created and levels. For this tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to create a new mod. So just click create new module, click OK, and we get a new dialog. Here you can pick the name for your mod, so I'm just gonna pick live stream mod. And here you can check which dependencies you want. So we have the mods. You can be dependent on main. So for instance, if you want to balance something in main, or put extra characters in levels, or change something to the normal story, you can just click this, and then you can use everything that is also in the original game files. And here we have data packs, and this is the assets which you can use. So you can use our main assets from our story. This means you can use every model, every texture, everything that we created for the game. For now, you always need to click this one. It's already selected, you can't uncheck it. This is because we still need to fix some stuff with importing your own assets. So for now you can create a empty mod, but with the assets we created. So just click enter a name and click create. This is gonna load our new mod. You're not gonna get all these messages, these are just for internal use, so you're gonna get just this dialog, which is for the levels. You can create a new level or open an existing one. Because this is a new empty mod, you can't open already existing levels. So we're gonna create a new one, which is a new cool level. This is gonna load our level. This is gonna be completely empty. There are a few things you're gonna need, the basics for creating a new mod. And the first thing that you need is a terrain. We need something to walk on, we need a surface in our 3D space. So here you have the toolbar with different icons, and one of them is a terrain editor. If you click that one, you're gonna get a new panel, and now you can create or view the terrains that are in the level. At the moment there's nothing, so create a new one. You're gonna get a new dialog. You can choose how big you want it to be. You can always add new terrains to it later, so this doesn't matter what you pick now. I think it's meters, so we're gonna pick something like 56 meters square for this terrain. We also need to select the terrain material, because we need to know how the terrain is gonna look, and at the moment nothing is selected. If you click this button, you're gonna get the resource manager. This is something where you can view all the assets we created. So if you click on main, you're gonna see all the assets we create for the game and we use in game. We need a terrain material, so that means we're gonna have to filter our main assets to materials, which is these buttons over here. If you right click on a filter, it's gonna show only the selected one. With left click you can multiple select the filters. So the round thing here are our materials. I'm just gonna change the view here of the content. So now we can see all the materials that are in our main data pack, and we're gonna pick one to create our terrain. There are existing terrain materials obviously, so I think I'll start with tr underscore, and as a base terrain material we need a special type. I think it's mostly, if you search for tr underscore space base, you're gonna see all the materials that you can use as a base material for a new terrain. So I'm just gonna pick size seal base, just select it, click this button. You can see here The new terrain is now selected size seal base, and we're gonna click OK. Voila, that's our first thing in our world now. You can also see here in our terrain manager that we have a new terrain. This is the first thing we need for creating a basic mod. The second thing we need are obviously a player. We need a player character to walk around and do stuff in our world. So that we can do by clicking this button, which is our root template panel. These are all the templates you can use to create objects in your level. And one of them is characters. It's the same thing as with the content browser, just right click it and click on all, for instance. Now you can see all the characters, all the character templates we created to use in game. So now we're gonna pick something like player. This is, for instance, the player characters templates we use. We're gonna just drag it to our world, and now you can see we have a character in our world. That's all you need to do to create a character. You can click on it and press Ctrl B or go to view and press sidebar, and now you can see all the properties on that character. There's one thing we need for it to be a playable character, and that is it needs to be global. It's a property you are later gonna we are gonna explain it later. It's not really important right now. Just click it as a global character, and is player needs to be checked. So now this character is a playable character in our world. We need to set it to global and is player. There's one last thing we need for it to be a playable mod, and that is an AI grid. If you see here, you can see an AI icon. We need something for the character to walk on, and this is called an AI grid. Also for the NPCs, they need to know where they can walk. If you place a terrain, you can just click full generate, and it's gonna create a basic AI for us. There's one thing I forgot that you are also gonna need. For the AI grid to generate, we need to place another object in our world, and that is an AI seeder. There's nothing really you should know about it, just it's really simple. Just place it in your world, and that's everything you need for the AI grid. So it's just a little object that it's used for calculating the AI grid, so it's not really important what it does. So I'm gonna try it again, full generate, and now you can see everything is green. Green means that our player can walk on it. Red means you can't, it's blocked. So now you can see the AI grid. We can walk around the whole of the terrain. That's everything you need to know for now of the AI grid. We can just close this, and we're back to our character on our terrain. I'm gonna save this, and there's something we need to do now, and it's reload the level. The AI grid gets loaded at level load, so when you create a new level, it's best to reload the level after you created one. This only needs to be done once, so just click Ctrl R or reload level. And now we're back with our character on our terrain. This is the basic setup you need to create a mod. So now we have a character, a terrain we can walk on, And now we can start playing actually. So this is an important button here which switches between the game and the editor mode. So you can play the whole game in our editor. You don't need to start up the game for that. We're now in editor mode. This means we have a fly camera and we can place objects. Once we click this button, we are now in game mode. As you can see, it now switches to the game camera and we can just walk around like any other level. We can, yeah, it's the same controls now. Of course, there's nothing in our terrain in our level at the moment, so it's just empty. Yeah, this is it basically to create a basic mod. Now Yoa is going to create something fun with the level, because this obviously, hopefully, yeah. This is just an empty plane. There's not really something you can do here. So now Yoa is going to show you how you can put objects in your level and make it fun and yeah, create something that actually looks nice. So okay.
All right.
Hello everyone. So I will be explaining you how to create a level from scratch. So what we do here at Larian Studios, first we usually come up with a design and then we think of how to create that on the editor. There's a lot of buttons here. The editor started with like 2 or 3, and now we have really a lot of buttons. I'm not gonna explain every button in detail, but I will start with the buttons I use most. So let's say like the terrain. First we start with the idea. Let's just think we want to make a tropical kind of island with a castle in the middle and some trolls on the beach who guard it. So let's say we start with the terrain editor. This is the terrain editor, the terrain panel. You click on the panel and nothing happens. So you have to add the textures. Let me quickly do that. Yeah. So I can type, you can type anything you want, but let's just say, start with terrain. I know all the materials by heart, so let's say that we need some coastal stones to start with. Just add them here, press OK. Then you have to click again. Press again, click.
So Yoa is now adding layers to the terrain. So you can add multiple layers and then you can start painting it. So that's basically how the terrain works. You create a terrain, add some layers, which is just how the terrain looks, and then you can start with painting tools, and you're gonna see in a moment that it's very easy to use, and it's just a brush that you can use to paint all the visible layers on the terrain.
Okay, I have enough layers for demo purposes. So here you see the tools we have at the moment for the terrain. So you can raise the terrain very easily, and we automatically have textures that have for the slopes and for the terrain itself. You can make them bigger, and you can set the parameters here. Just press right mouse button.
Yeah, right mouse button on the button at the top, and then you can select properties of the thing you're using. So of the height tool, for instance, you can set properties of how big the brush is.
So let's say we start over and we want to create an island. First we would think that we need water, so I go into the root template folder, and here you have all the assets like you explained.
Yeah.
You explained this, right?
Yeah, all
did.
the templates that are used to create objects in the world.
So I know all the objects, so I can. You people are going to have to click everything and find out what everything means. So you have like cave stuff.
Yeah,
right.
the trigger filter is selected.
Yeah,
So.
that's all. So we can place down objects just by dragging them out of the list into the screen. You can easily multi-select them without the terrain. Control click select them, and then you can move them around as a group. You can also delete them as a group.
One question I see coming back multiple times on the forum and now in the chat also is will mods support more than 2 player? Yes. For instance, the cow simulator supports 4 players. This is something you can set in the mod options. We'll show that later. We actually, I think we don't really have a limit on the players. The most I think we tested are 4 or 6 players, I think. Obviously you can't play with like 100 people, but I think it's possible that you can play with like up to 6 or maybe 8 players. I don't know. You're gonna have to test that, and we will also test that once the game is finished and we can fully support the modding tools. There's also a question about, is there a 4-player co-op mod? Well, one thing we did for testing the modding tools is actually create a 4-player co-op mod ourselves for the main story. So we actually played with 4 players in our main story, and obviously things are not going to be balanced and not everyone is going to be in dialogue with each other, because then you would have to rewrite the whole story. But it's possible and it's pretty fun actually. So maybe if we expand that a little bit, we can also put it on the workshop.
Okay, so more on the terrain. So we have a lot of cool tools, like the slope tool. You can easily select it and drag a slope on the terrain and make it wider. So you have easily can make a path up to the castle. So first I'm gonna try to terrain paint some of this. So the order of the layers is important. So the coastal stones will be at the bottom and the roots will be on top. So if I paint this, so this is the coast. So, coastal stones 1.
The layers you see in the terrain manager is only for the painting and for the visible stuff. So the terrain data, the heights and cutouts in the terrain is the same on all layers. It's just the terrain data, but the layers is for the painting and yeah, to create the visible things.
So what you usually do is you start with to place down some objects on the beach. Let's say like a rock. And I put down some big rocks.
Someone is asking, can I do what Larian can in the editor? Well, it's exactly this. It's the same editor we use. Nothing's changed. We didn't remove anything or add anything. It's just the tool that we use. It's obviously still needs some polish because we know all the things how to do certain stuff, but you can do exactly the same as things we did. You can create a whole new game, mod our main story. You can do everything we can do.
Quickly add some layers. Okay, I'm not gonna try to make something really beautiful because that would take too much time, but I'm just gonna explain the basic idea of this.
So besides the terrain, UI is also adding some items to the level. The rocks you see are basically items that you can place in the level. It all comes from the root templates. and just drag them into the level, and then you can place items. As you will probably later see, is that the items also have properties just like the character. So you can make a talking rock, for instance, or do stuff with it, put scripts on it, or just place it in the level and just use it as something visible in the level.
A handy way to create levels is to group objects together and make a prefab. So you can actually take these objects, click create prefab, and then you can actually make that. So you have to select the right file and all. Don't really know if this is gonna work right now. Does it? To create prefab?
I don't know which.
Well, anyway, you can try to create a prefab, and then yes, I have prefabs. So you can easily fill the level quickly if you have a prefab. Let's say that I have big rocks and I want to place them. The interesting thing is that these objects are still separate objects, so you can put them down and you can move them around. This really speeds up to the process of creating huge levels like we always do.
Yeah, a prefab is just a group of items that you can make yourself. So if you create something like UOS putting in level, for instance, rocks with some trees and some grass, you can say I want to create a prefab from it and just copy it everywhere, so it makes your life a little bit easier.
Okay, I'll quickly put down some more objects. One other interesting thing we use is the dungeon tile set. The wall, what do you call it?
The wall editor.
The wall editor.
The wall manager, whatever. Yeah, so we have terrains, we have items, but we also have walls. This is to make some stuff easier for you. So a wall is basically a tile set that you create, and once you have that, you can start dragging it around and create a house or whatever. And yeah,
so
just
well, I'll try it out.
Yeah,
while ordering
it's gonna show
food.
you.
So the editor is so placed that we build a lot of different pieces, and you can drag them out, and you can easily create houses or castles or whatever. If you press Ctrl and you use the mouse wheel, you can have the variations that we made for all these pieces. We have really a lot of dungeon stone wall tiles.
Yeah.
We have like citizens.
Someone is asking if the editor has different hardware requirements than the game itself. Probably no. Besides, it uses yes, some runtimes like .NET 3.5, so you're gonna have to install that. But I think Steam does it automatically. But yeah, once you create big levels, like Sicil for instance, the amount of memory your editor is going to consume can become quite a lot. So if you have only 2 gigabytes for instance, it's probably not going to work to open that level. So it's best to have I think a little bit more RAM than for the game. For instance, if you have something like 8 gigabytes, you can probably open just all the levels we created. Also, it's best to use it on a 64-bit system, because obviously 32-bit can't use as much RAM. So the best thing is to use it on a 64-bit system with I think at least like 8 gigabytes of RAM. That's the same systems we use here, so then you're not gonna have any problem with creating very big levels like we did.
So let's try to walk around in this little level. First, what we're gonna have to do is to regenerate the AI mesh, so we'll just click full generate. and he will automatically detect all the objects and make the cells red.
Yeah, every time you modify the terrain,
Everything's red.
I think you
Yeah,
need
have to
to
make
the AI seeder
Yeah, so you always
in the middle of the terrain. It's already in the level, but
Yeah.
I just
We're not putting another one.
yeah. So what I was saying is when you change the terrain or create some new stuff in the level, you always, before you play, you're gonna need to regenerate the AI grid because the AI grid determines where you can walk on. So if you created a wall, for instance, you need to regenerate the AI grid so it knows that there's a wall here, I can't walk through it.
Everything seems to be flying, but yeah, then again,
Yeah.
it's not meant to be pretty. If you press T, you can transport your character, teleport your character to wherever you want.
Yeah. So it's very easy to switch between editor and game mode, make adjustments, and just try them out how you would in the normal game.
There's a lot of properties of all the assets in the game. You always have to use the sidebar to adjust all the settings we have. It could be for a trigger, for an object, and the settings change. So in this case, I want the roof to disappear. So we have a nice way of doing that, which is the see-through. And if you click away the fading, normally, if I go in game and I walk into the house, you should have an effect of the roof disappearing, so the character is always visible. This can be applied on all the objects we have. It's a cool feature to get rid of the problems we have with top-down camera sometimes. But I think for mods you can unlock the camera in any way you want. Right?
Yeah, not at the moment, but we are probably gonna add some more camera controls and options to make modders use different things and be more creative. Someone asked if you mod the main campaign, if the saves are still compatible. Well, for the moment not. So at the moment, when you load a save, it's automatically gonna load the mods that were active when you saved it. We are trying to make it work maybe before the release, but probably not, to make it so that you can disable and enable mods as you please and just keep on playing with the saves you have. It needs a little bit work to make it not crash when you start disabling and enabling extra stuff and continue with your existing save. So at the moment not, but that will definitely be in there.
Okay, another important part of creating your world is the lighting. I'm just jumping from one thing to the other unless something else.
Maybe
so
you can,
If the lighting, we have a sun. So this is the lighting panel. It's got a lot of settings. The coolest thing is just to figure out what to do yourself, of course, because it's just about trial and error to find out what everything does. But for say that we want to have the sun, we need a sun color to start with. Let's just say a little bit of orange. And you see that the light immediately changes. Also important are the shadows.
Yeah, they were not enabled by default, but
and the sun intensity.
Obviously makes a big difference. You can also create multiple atmospheres, as we call it. These are the settings for the sun and for the fog. And later you can see that we can create triggers where your character walks through, and you can trigger multiple atmosphere changes. So for instance, you can make a section of your level where it's always dark or night or whatever you want it to be.
But let's say we want a bit of a night scene, and we just lower the sun. We can even put it to 0 if you want to go into a cave, let's say, it's a little bit of sun. And then we can start adding lights to the scene, which is also in the same panel, under lights, light sources. These are the lights. So let's say that I need a fill orange light. Light. And the same for all the objects. Also the parameters of the lights are also changed in the sidebar.
Maybe it's already open source.
So you can set all the things you want. You can have your radius go to 20 or to 5, and the intensity can be like 10 or 100, whatever you want to do. You can also enable shadows, which could result into interesting things like this. Of course, shadows are heavy, so don't put like 20 lights will cast shadow.
Yeah, you can do some crazy stuff with the editor, and you're probably gonna notice that once you do like 200 and lights with all shadows turned on and stuff, it's probably not gonna be playable anymore. So, but that's for you to test and to try out. It's very easy, as you can see. The editor mode is the same as the game mode, so you can immediately see the changes to the scene and to the level. So for instance, fog is also something you can set in the atmosphere panel, which immediately adds some more some cool
atmosphere.
environment effects, yeah, atmosphere to your level.
You can easily copy stuff by selecting move and hold shift, and then you can just copy every asset you want around. So there's a lot of other stuff I can explain. Let's start with the you had something in mind, Sebastian?
Maybe we can add some more characters to our scene. Yeah.
Wait, let me tune down the atmosphere.
The fog a little bit, yeah.
Clear fog. Put the sun back on.
Some people are also asking about day and night cycles. In the atmosphere is just one setting you can create, so there's not really a timer that you can set. But through scripting, you can change the atmospheres to something else, and the game will automatically transform from one atmosphere to the other. So maybe we can also show that in a moment, how you can go from one atmosphere to the other.
Yeah.
So we have a night scene already. You have created a new atmosphere.
Yeah, I accidentally destroyed the night scene.
or sunny, doesn't matter.
Let's say this is the night scene, and we go into a day scene.
Yeah.
Which is the new one.
Yeah.
And let's say that the sun is stronger. Then we go into the trigger panel. We want to have when we walk up to this house from this side, we want the night to fall. Let's say that we create a trigger. Everything is always in the same root template
root
panel.
templates. Triggers are things that are not visible, but it's just for the gameplay. And we have different types of triggers. We have boxes. You can also like paint almost your own trigger, your own shape. And this is obviously gonna trigger stuff when you walk through it with your character. There are different types of triggers. So Joa is now playing an atmosphere trigger. And obviously this is gonna trigger a different atmosphere when you walk through it. By default, when you create a new level, there's always going to be a default atmosphere, and that is also going to be enabled when you start the level in a game. So default is what is always there, and you can now show how we can
you have the little eye icon. You have all the types of triggers we have in the game. This looks a bit intimidating if you never saw this before, but it all explains itself more or less. Let's say for now we want to deselect and have the atmosphere trigger active, and I just show it to you. This is the atmosphere trigger. So if a player walks in there from here into the trigger, you will have a change you can set in the sidebar. So what I do first is use the atmosphere trigger, put the height of the trigger a bit higher, and then move it a bit down, so the player can actually walk in there. I'm gonna say that the atmosphere needs to be the one I created, the new one. No, the new one.
Yeah.
So now I go from default, which is here. If I go here and I go in game, save. So the player is gonna walk into the trigger, which I better hide first. And you will see that the atmosphere will is changing gradually back to the other.
You can see the color changing, so you can also set the fade time between the atmospheres. Now you can see it, because the shadows are not set on the new atmosphere. You can
need to set more properties.
See some flickering, but
so this one is also has shadows enabled, and it has different shadows than this one. And I set the fading time of the trigger higher. I save. I go back in game. And now you can see that the two triggers are. This is more or less like a day and night cycle. You can see the transition between the two triggers. It's a bit of a fake day and night cycle.
Yeah, now it's pretty fast, but you can set it to something pretty long, and then you can gradually see the atmosphere change.
Still going on.
At the moment, there's not yet a wiki or documentation or something, because obviously we're pretty busy with finishing the game for the release. I will create simple steps of how to set up the editor, and create maybe a basic mod like we're doing here. But obviously later, we are gonna show you more in depth, and maybe have some documentation of how you use all the tools in the editor.
Because there are a lot of buttons, of course. You also have the material editor, which is not really my specialty, but it's really an advanced system to create materials.
Yeah, people that have used stuff like UDK or other game editors will maybe be more familiar with a node-based material editor. So you can create your own materials from scratch or add the existing ones.
So the material editor looks like this. Is like a node structure, which is quite complex to work with, but of course if people are interested, you can really create cool, interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But we need to go into depth for this little bit more.
Yeah, I think we can spend almost a whole hour on the material editor only, so that's for another time.
What else do we have?
Other characters. People are also asking about that, so maybe place some NPCs in our level. So Yoa is now browsing through the templates again for the characters.
We have a lot of enemies.
Yeah.
Let's see, just put one down.
Yeah, I need to select it in the right panel. Click the characters filter.
That's right. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So just click him.
Also, once you start opening the editor and browsing through all the characters, there are obviously gonna be some spoilers. Maybe we should have said that first.
Yeah, so don't watch this one.
Yeah. You can see, all the characters we created, and all their scripts and dialogues. So if you don't want any spoilers, play the game first and then start experimenting with the
True.
editor.
True. So I won't show any characters then, that's what you mean?
No, it's okay. It's already too late for the people watching now, so.
So yeah,
Yeah.
any more questions? Can create some stuff. you know.
Yeah, what can we do? Maybe some simple interaction with the characters in the level.
It's like scripting, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you can also, you have another button there you just used to switch between cameras. You can also switch to the game camera in editor mode. So this means you can still edit the level, but you are in the view of the game camera, and this is easier to see what you're doing and how it will be showed in the game. Okay, so maybe we can show a little interaction between NPCs. Are you gonna do that? Or
No, we'll switch back. 'Cause
Switch
I have
back.
no clue what to do.
Or maybe Sven?
It's been a long time since I've done that.
Because I'm a programmer, so I created I can create basic stuff, but obviously not as extensive as our designers and scripters can. So we placed some basic characters here. I'm gonna delete them for now for simplifying it, and just create one character. What kind of character do you want in the level?
Let's put a cow. It's cow simulator
A
day.
cow, okay. So browse cow. It's gonna be in the animals. As you can see, we have 4 cows as a template, so I'm gonna place one.
Alright.
Now we're gonna start experimenting with the properties of a character. Because, yeah, like we said, you need to add scripts and story to the characters to interact with them. So when you click on a character, yeah, we showed this, you have a sidebar you can open. And you can, to make it very simple, you have a default dialogue property. This means that when you see the character in the level and you hover over it, you're gonna see this little speaker icon, and this means the character has a dialogue. So I don't know if it will work now. Nope, this will not work because we don't have dialogues yet in our mod. This is a new mod. You can also, if you mod the main story, you can use those dialogues, obviously. But we're gonna have to create a new dialogue for our cow here. You can see here this little icon, the keyword editor, and this is to create dialogues. It's quite big. So you have this new editor thing here. It's empty at the moment. Obviously later we can show you in depth of what this all means, but for now we're just going to create a simple dialogue for the cow to so we can speak and interact with it. This is already set up, so you can just start adding stuff. The first thing we need to do is add a node. So we're gonna add greeting node. Nope. In this panel here, you can see all the nodes that you have in the dialog, and you can immediately start typing some text here. So you can say, "Hi there, how are you doing?" This is just, yeah, one line of text, and I'm gonna save this to a file for now. It should open to the right folder. I'm just gonna name this cow dialog. Now we have one line of text. I think we need to set this to show at start, so the greeting will be shown once this dialog is triggered. And we're gonna add a new text, and we're gonna type no, what, we're gonna do this differently. Yes. I'm gonna add a new note. Goodbye note. The nodes are things you can see when you're in dialogue with something. So here you can see displayed text when I click on a node. And this is the things you're gonna see when you start a dialogue with someone. So we set this is set to show at start, and we're gonna have by to obviously be the last keyword. So this is, I think, the most basic thing you can create is an ending, a beginning and an ending of a dialogue, a start and the end. Sad to see you go is the ending of our dialogue. I think this is all we need for now. And dialogue
looks correct. Just to remind you, as Sebastian said, he is not the guy who actually ever uses this dialog editor, so we're just showing it to you because you were asking in the stream. We will have a session with our dialog writers, obviously, and they will show you the ins and outs of the system. You also see there's actions and conditions on the screen. That means that you can actually script from within the dialogues, but there's also a very powerful scripting system which is running on top of the world, and we'll show that to you now, I guess, hopefully.
So the last thing we need to do is obviously set the dialogue to the cow, because obviously we need to say we want to use this dialogue. So the default dialogue is on default. I think it doesn't recognize that, so it probably won't do anything. I'm gonna set this to cow dialogue, and let's try this out. Options to the dialogues, but that will be shown later.
Alright.
And maybe
yeah, you're getting some errors there because I think you forgot to put one of the nodes that needs to be there.
Yeah.
But as I said, we will show the dialog editor in depth at a later stage. Today we actually only wanted to show you how to make a basic level because that's already quite an achievement. Apparently there's a sound problem. Ah, the cow is making too much noise.
The cow is making too much noise, apparently.
Alright. Can we maybe just start up Osiris so that they can have a look at the story editor?
For safety, I'm gonna restart our editor because I might have broken something, and some things went corrupt maybe. So I don't want to lose everything we have. So yeah, we created a new mod, so now once you start it up again you can see it here. So just click it to load.
So once again, this is going to be available today for you to fool around with. But real support from us is only going to come after release, once we took a little bit of a break, which is sorely needed because we're crunching now for the moment, finishing up the game. And then we'll show you how you can make really cool things with this thing, because it's a very powerful tool.
Yeah.
Show Osiris, man.
Osiris.
It's like the crown jewel.
I think you're gonna have to.
I can write a script. Do we have some globals?
Yeah, we can. Like we did before for the player character to walk around with this, it needs to be global. I didn't explain yet what it does, but to make it simple is once you want to script things and make some story with, and you want to use that character in the story and in the scripts, you need to make it global. That's all you need to know for now. So our cow needs to be global. Maybe I can rename it so it's easier to use in our story. So I'm gonna make this NPC cow and rename our player maybe.
Just player.
Player.
Excellent.
So it's a little bit easier to use them in the story.
Start it up.
You have, yeah, you need to select another panel here, which is our story editor. It's going to open up a new window. Obviously it's empty now, so we are going to create a new script. I don't know yet if it needs to be in it. I'll check that later.
That's the thing I don't know, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm asking you to do it. I can write the script, but I don't know what inits need to be
I'll
there.
check that.
Right.
Maybe I'll open up something from
Game.
our game, so I can show you maybe, or show us actually what needs to be in it. Mods, my module, just the test module we use here. It's in raw files, goals.
Yeah, so I see that you're wondering that you're getting the editor today, and indeed you're getting it today. So it's something that we promised we were going to do, so it's going to happen. Be aware though, this editor is the toolkit that we are using, so it definitely has rough edges, so you can consider it a beta of the editor, and it's probably never going to come out of beta because we're going to keep on updating it, as it is the tool that we are using here at Larian. So we keep on working on it, but obviously we will update your versions regularly. So in the meantime, I think that...
I don't think there's anything you need to do.
Really?
I don't.
Alright.
We're gonna test it out and see if it works.
Cool.
So Sven can now create
can you
the
in the
story.
meantime go get a scripter maybe, so that I don't completely go off here on Twitch? Okay, you're gonna see something now. Thank you. I was wondering what the was. Alright, okay, so what am I doing here? So, yes, so they put me here to do the scripting because everybody's watching the football game right now. Obviously also crunching. So this is a story editor. It is a and or graph based system, so you have several goals which can be connected to one another. I'm not going to go into details. You have for each goal, so this is a goal, you have 3 sections. You have the initialization of the goal, so basically when the goal becomes active, there's things that you can do, like, I don't know, there's syntax highlighting. So let's see, what do we have here? Well, that's not going to be interesting, that's not going to be interesting, that's not going to be interesting. Well, there's stuff that we can do. But then here, this is where you can do, I don't know, let's see, if NPC for character, I don't think I actually have, you know what, I think he did it wrong. So he put me here in a story which does not have definitions. So let's have a look. Ah, there you go. Alright, so I can't write any story right now. I only have the basic keywords. I actually need to get the headers. No, unfortunately, I don't know where the headers are. So we're going to have to wait a little bit until I get my actual headers. And I'm hoping now that a scripter is going to come and help me out, because otherwise I am going to be entertaining you here with an empty screen. It's a pretty neat story editor, but yeah, well, sometimes best laid plan of men and mice. So I'll answer some questions while we're waiting. I don't have a story header.
Story people are a little busy at the moment.
They can't come, right? Okay, so we're not going to show the story editor today. Unless you could load me in on another. Do we have another version of the editor with the real game here?
You mean the
Can we load the game?
main?
Yeah, if we can load main, then we can.
Yeah, or maybe show my module that's custom and has some story in it.
All right,
we
let's
can
have a look
use
at
that.
it.
So I think you're gonna need to change your game data for this.
Okay.
And the options,
All right. So I don't know this. Right.
and then preferences, because now it's set to the data from Steam, but obviously we have some custom stuff already.
Yeah.
So I
D?
think it's on D,
Yeah.
developed.
All right. That's projects.
Projects.
Yes, yeah.
Data.
Data. That's the one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And copy it into the editor, maybe.
All right. So we're improvising a little bit here, people, but everybody's so busy at Larian
Yeah.
these days that nobody can actually go and help.
Editor behind.
Add
the-
editor here. Okay. Edit.
And just save it.
Okay.
And we need
Need
to
to
restart
restart?
the editor for this. Yeah.
Should I switch it off?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to save? Nope. I don't want to save my story. Ignore. You're not going to get the funny pictures there. And what do I do?
Yeah. The
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Ignore. So somebody asked us if you will be able to localize the main campaign or modify the main campaign. I'll
load my module. For
My
instance.
module, this one.
Or Cow Simulator, if you want to show that.
Yeah, actually,
Cow Simulator doesn't have story.
it doesn't have story.
Not yet. We're working on it. So.
It has a header.
Yeah.
So if it
Yeah,
has a
I think-
header,
yeah,
I can
you
write
can-
story.
yeah.
That's the only thing I need. Alright. So let's see. Obviously, when you're making something with the engine like this, things is going to be very complicated. So it's not for the meek, but you can do really cool stuff with it. So I'll try to do something which is at least a little bit interesting. But you can make, you can go far. You can go very far with this editor. But as I said, it's the dev toolkit that we're using, so life will be hard. Okay, let's see what questions do I have here. Can you show some skill spell modding today? No, because that is actually not part of the editor. That is purely via Excel files on which there's macro scripts that are running. So we'll ship those. You'll be able to fool around with it, but not just yet. What else do you have in terms of question? More RAM? Yeah, you definitely need lots of RAM for the editor, more than you need for the game. Open level, I guess?
Open level,
Alright.
meadow.
The meadow, this one?
Yeah.
No, the other one is the main menu, right? Of Cow
Yeah,
Simulator.
that we'll show that later, but modding has also a cool feature.
You are aware that Belgium is playing today, right? So we can't
Yeah.
do that much later.
But I'll just
Alright.
tell it. Modding has a cool feature is that you can customize the menu screen. So you probably already noticed, and when you start the game, you can see that the menu screen is actually, yeah, it's in Perforce. We can fix that real quick.
Okay, go ahead. So, go ahead.
Yeah, so like I said, the menu screen is also customizable, so you can create a whole new level for it, and when you start that mod in your game, you're gonna see that it it starts it has a different menu.
I don't have anything, man. Ah, but I'm in the
It's
exit.
in the exit, yeah.
Where's the knowledge base?
Maybe maximize it, because and close the error.
There you
the
go.
error panel, maybe.
Okay, no. Yeah, normally we work with 2 screens, which is advised for this thing. Alright, cool, we can write story. Okay, so I'll quickly explain the story language to you. It's something that we've been using actually since the very beginning of Larian almost. It was the story system that was used for Divinity, Beyond Divinity, pretty much every game. It was in Dragon Commander, it was in Divinity 2 obviously, it was even in our children games. This is called Osiris. And it's quite powerful, so that's the reason why we kept on using it. So basically it's a series of if-then rules, and so what you do is you write a line like if something's going to happen, and then you have a whole bunch of things that you can do, and normally I should have syntax highlighting here, but again it's not working. So something seems to be not loaded in.
Yeah, that's probably
Eh?
probably because it's a custom mod, so it doesn't.
Okay, so there's no story header really.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a pity.
Well, you can open the main one, but that can be.
No, I'm not going to do that. All right.
That's
So,
gonna have a little
well,
spoiler.
that's the fault. We tried to entertain you. Well, not entertain you, inform you. And I should normally see that's the thing. We weren't set up for showing the story editor, so we're not going to do that, and we're not going to continue improvising.
You can open my module, for instance.
That one has one?
Load module. It has a small level that I created to test some stuff. It has a little bit of story. It has some enemies. It has test level set.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a message. I wonder who it is. Okay, so what's the score anyway? Does anybody know? 'Cause I'm sitting here. In the meantime, the other guys are they're actually, it's also dinner time. All right, this looks already more like a thing. And does this have a story? It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, so that means that I can actually. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, test level set, for instance.
There we go. Okay, I'm not going to say anything before I can actually try typing, but this looks more like story. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, it's the same.
This is the
same
Perforce thing.
stuff.
So we're linked into our version control system, so that's why I can't change anything. Germany winning from USA. Thank you, guys. So I guess if Belgium wins, that means we're going to be playing. We don't know actually who we're going to be playing yet, because I guess Portugal Ghana is important also. If and then does it do something? Character. What's with the highlighting? I mean,
I don't know.
Normally you get okay. Well, all right. I will
You can
quit.
show the thing that's in there.
Yeah, but we will do a real session around the
Yeah.
story once our story scripters are a little bit freed up again. I think that we've shown a lot already today for the 1 hour.
Yeah.
People should be able to set up a basic level, but there's
Yeah.
still some stuff that you have to show them. You have to still show them how to publish it, so they can fool around with it.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I will let you do that. Okay. So, and one last thing before I go, and I'll leave the word back to Sebastian, is that people have been asking, can you import custom assets into Original Sin? You will, but not right now. We still have to do a couple of things on that front, and that's going to come after release. Remember, we are going to update this thing regularly, and we will support it strongly, because it is for us a very important part of the entire project that we are developing here at Larian with Original Sin is but the first part. Okay. All right. So I wish you lots of fun, Sebastian. I guess you show the modding tool, and then you can.
I'll
slowly
show
close.
them how to publish a mod, so
Yeah.
how to put it on Steam once you created something. So, for instance, when you created something like this, a small level with some characters in it. This has 4 players, for instance. So, as you can see, this mod has more players in the main story. Has simple characters, a house, also a few bad guys in there. Okay, so once you created your mod and you want to publish it to Steam, it uses the Steam Workshop, obviously. So there's a few things that are gonna have to be set up. So the modding menu here is what you need. Mod settings are the things, yeah, just basic settings of the mod. Like number of players is how many players can connect when your mod is playing. Obviously, if you don't have enough players in your level, you can't play with the number of players you have here. But this is the maximum that you set here. We have the startup level is also something important. This is the level that's going to be loaded when you click new game in the main game when you start up your mod. You can also, the name, the description, basic stuff. Menu level, I'll show that later. That's not really needed now. Once you created your mod, you can click Publish Module. And this will basically do everything for you automatically, for you to put the mod on Steam. I'm gonna set this to private now to test it. Yeah, you can immediately make it public, you can make it friends only, you can make it private. You can change that later on the Steam Workshop, so you can start with private and then make it public when you want. You can also click Publish. I'll show that first maybe, not to Steam but just in a package, so you can give it to someone, for instance. So you can click Publish. This will start packing files, and what this does is it basically packs all the files into one file. So yeah, we need that to upload it to Steam, or it just makes it easier for you to share your mods. So once you packed it, you see publishing as finished. You can go to your user folder, to your Larian Studios folder. This is also where your save games and player profiles are at. You will see there's a mods folder. You can now see there's a my module.pack, and this is basically everything you need. So your whole mod is now packed into one file, and you can copy it to another PC, place it in the Larian Studios original sin mods folder, and you can start playing it. It's best to put it on compress, because obviously otherwise the files are going to be too big, and you don't want to upload half a gig of files to Steam, because that will take quite a long time. We're now gonna also publish it to Steam, so I'm gonna set it to private. I'm gonna click Publish again. So it's now packing the files. It's creating a hash to for verification purposes. Now you can see uploading. So it's like 50 megabytes. I don't know how long this will take. It shouldn't be more than a minute or something. At the moment there's not a progress bar for the upload progress. I don't think the Steam Workshop supports that at the moment, so you just have to wait until the file is uploaded. So while we're waiting for that, I'll show you where you can find your mod once it has been uploaded to Steam. Just go to your user in the Steam client, go to Content, and go to Workshop Items. So you can see this is the Frozen Lands mod I created during the previous stream. This doesn't have a thumbnail, but you can, like I said, you can change this to your liking, edit title, description, do whatever you want with it. Let me check if it has uploaded yet. Nope. So here you can find your published modules. You can also find them when you go to the community, go to Original Sin, I'm already here, and then go to Workshop. Yeah, they're not yet visible here because nothing is uploaded, but once things are uploaded here, you can also, for instance, find the Cow Simulator mod here later when we publish it. So where you can find the discussions, everything else of Original Sin, go to Workshop, and here you should be able to see the other things, the other mods people created that you yourself created. Publishing has finished, so this means that this should be uploaded now. Voila. You can now see my module in your content. At the moment it's hidden, so other people can't see this. Once that is completed, the only thing you need to do as a player is click the subscribe button. This will download the mod automatically to your folders. It will put it in the same folder as the mods are created from the editor, so in the Original Sin mods folder. Click the subscribe button. I'm now subscribed to my own mod. And then when you start up the game, it's downloading the mod now, as you can see. When you start up the game, you can select it in the mod menu. You will see that the game switches to that mod, and the other thing you have to do is just click new game, and then you are ready to play your mod. I'll see Workshop. Yeah, there's nothing in the Workshop at the moment, but like I said, we will probably put Cow Simulator on there later, and then you can browse the mods people have created. So that's the only thing you have to do. Create a simple mod or as expanded as you want. Click the publish button. Now it says update because I already uploaded this mod, so when I click update now, it will update automatically the mod I've already put on Steam. So yeah, that's basically everything you need to know. Modding, publish, click the big button here, and you should be ready to go. So yeah, now we've shown you how to create a simple mod, create a player character to walk around in it, and how you can publish it to Steam. That's everything you need to know. Obviously later we're gonna have more documentation and probably more streams and movies for how you can create elaborate story, scripting, make your characters do stuff. That's all for later. So yeah, I think I've shown you everything to upload your mod. Thank you guys for watching. We'll hopefully see you later in more videos where we'll show you more of the modding tools. Okay, bye guys.